everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a meal prep video where I'm going to be making hopefully all the meals for this coming week today. Today is Sunday and I want to be able to just have everything prepared and not have to really cook anything but just warm it up. So we're going to be making breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. If you like cooking videos or meal prep videos, please let me know by giving this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. And let's jump into the video. So on this week's menu, we're going to be making some mini quiche for breakfast. I plan to have my husband Doug eat those for breakfast, and I will probably eat my regular smoothie for breakfast. We also have some baked salmon, some balsamic chicken breasts for the meats for the week, and then I made some quinoa, baked sweet potato cubes, and broccoli for the sides. And then I also made like a kale salad. It's actually called a Super 7 salad, and I plan to pack that in our lunches. That should hold up really well through the week because it is more of the heavy vegetables and not like lettuce that's just gonna go limp. For snacks, I cut up some strawberries and kiwis, carrots and celery, and then we have hummus to dip those in, and then I also made some turkey cheese roll-ups. So let's start cooking. For breakfast, the mini quiches, I used a jumbo muffin tin, and then I got some pie crust and just sort of tried to use a bowl to cut it to the right size. It was a little bit of trial and error. I was trying to find the right size and just trying to get it all to fit because I needed 6 pie crusts. Then I took some eggs and I ended up using about 1.5 dozen because I wanted there to be around 4 eggs per quiche, little mini quiche, but I actually didn't need that many eggs. I probably would have been fine with just 1 dozen. And then I added about 3/4 to 1 cup of milk. So then I mixed up my egg mixture with the milk, added some salt and pepper, poured that into the pie crust, and then I added in some pre-cooked bacon that I had chopped up into like bacon bit sizes, sprinkled those in, and then topped it all with some shredded cheddar cheese. I put that in the oven at 350 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes. For the salmon, I cut it into 4 fillets, and then I made a marinade using half of a lemon juiced, about 1 clove of minced garlic. I used about a teaspoon of dry parsley, but fresh parsley would be great too. I also added a little bit of orange juice to this just so there was enough liquid to be able to coat all of the pieces of salmon. And I added that all to a bag, mixed it together really well, and then dropped in the salmon and just sort of coated the salmon, and I laid them skin side up in the fridge to marinate for about 20 minutes before baking in the oven. Once those were finished marinating, I baked them in the oven at 350 degrees for about 20 to 30 minutes, and you can broil them at the end if you want them to get a little darker, and the salmon was done. For the balsamic chicken breasts, I actually got this recipe from the Domestic Geek channel, and she is amazing. She has tons and tons of delicious looking recipes. She does also some meal planning as well, so it kind of inspired me to do some meal planning this week as well. So that's where I got the recipe here. And now I'm going to cook the chicken. I got 3 chicken breasts. I sprinkled them with salt and pepper on both sides, and then I heated up some olive oil on the skillet over about medium-high heat. Put those in and let them cook for about 4 minutes to brown up on one side, and then I flipped them over and let them cook an additional 1 minute, and then I added the balsamic glaze to the chicken. To make the balsamic glaze, I used half a cup of chicken broth, 3 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, 2 cloves of minced garlic, and 1 tablespoon of honey. And then to that I also added some fresh rosemary that I had chopped up pretty fine. So I added about 1 to 2 sprigs of that, and then gave that a good stir so that everything was mixed together. The honey's a little bit difficult to mix in, so just make sure it's fully mixed. Pour that over your chicken, turn down the heat to low, let that simmer for about 10 additional minutes to let the chicken finish cooking. And you can also flip the chicken periodically to make sure that you are coating all sides with the balsamic glaze throughout the whole cooking process. Next, I chopped up some sweet potatoes and broccoli. For the sweet potatoes, I chopped them up about 1/2 inch in size, laid those on a lined cookie sheet, and the broccoli I also chopped up about just bite-sized pieces, laid those on a cookie sheet that's lined with foil, and then over both of those vegetables I just drizzled olive oil and then sprinkled salt and pepper, and then gave them a good toss to get them evenly coated. I put those both in the oven together at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 to 25 minutes. While that was baking, I made a little butter glaze for the sweet potatoes. This is my favorite way to cook sweet potatoes. I just took about 3 tablespoons of butter that had come to room temperature, and then I added in a chili pepper that I had chopped up pretty finely, almost minced, added that in, and then I also added some honey, about 2 tablespoons of honey, and I just mixed that all together, or more like mashed it together until it was all combined. Once the sweet potatoes had about 2 to 3 minutes left of baking, I went ahead and drizzled that over them, or kind of dumped it over them, and then it began to melt right away, so I just stirred them and got that mixed all over and coated all over the sweet potatoes and let them cook for an additional about 3 minutes. And it is so yummy. You've got to try it. Then I put the quinoa on the stove. What I did was I combined 2 cups of rinsed white quinoa into a large pot, and then I added 3 cups of the rest of my chicken broth into that, and then I brought it to a boil, and once it was at a boil I turned it down, covered it, and let it simmer for about 20 minutes or until all the water evaporated. While everything else was cooking, it was time to make the Super 7 salad. I also got this recipe from the Domestic Geek. I will link her channel below. Like I mentioned, she's amazing. So let's get into the salad. For the salad, I used about 3 cups of finely chopped kale, 3 cups of finely sliced red cabbage, 1 cup of finely shredded Brussels sprouts, and you can either use the grater for that, or you can just use the knife like I did and chop them really small. I also used about 3 cups of finely chopped broccoli. For toppings, you can use slivered almonds and blueberries. After giving the salad ingredients a good mix so that everything was equally mixed around, it was time to make the dressing, and I ended up tripling the dressing recipe because I had a lot more salad. So for the dressing, I used 1.5 cups of plain yogurt. I used Greek yogurt, 9 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, 6 tablespoons of honey, about 3 teaspoons of poppy seeds, and then salt and pepper to taste. I mixed that all together really well, and I ended up using all of it in the salad, so it was just the right amount. Now it's time to move on to snacks, and for snacks what I did was I peeled and cut up some kiwi and some strawberries, and then added that to my Pyrex so that it's ready just to snack on. Just a really great snack if you're having a sugar craving. And then I chopped up some celery and took some baby carrots and just combined those into another Pyrex, and then I have bought some hummus for dipping. And then finally I got this idea from the Domestic Geek as well. I took some turkey like sandwich meat and I put a piece of sliced cheese on it and then rolled those up, and those would be great to pack along with a lunch or just to grab for a snack as well. And I believe that's it. I think I covered everything. Now we have all of our meals ready for the week ahead, and hopefully that means I can spend less time in the kitchen, and when I get home from work I can just grab something out for dinner and reheat it, and it'll be super easy. If you enjoy this type of video, let me know again by giving it a thumbs up or in the comments below. I really enjoy hearing from you and just making sure I'm making videos that you actually want to watch. So definitely let me know. Get subscribed if you're new so you can see the next one, and I will see you really soon in the next video. Bye!